Ever tried kangaroo? How about jellyfish? Tarantula? If your answer is no and you're not feeling sick, keep watching for every exotic meat you should go out and try as soon as this video ends. Alligators are more closely related to dinosaurs than most animals on the Earth today. In fact, scientists believe that the American alligator species is more than 150 million years old. These reptiles can grow up to 15 feet long and weigh up to 1,000 pounds. There are two species of alligators, the Chinese and the American. The former resides in eastern China, while the latter lives in the southeastern United States, specifically in Florida and Louisiana and some parts of several other southern states. Residents of the southeastern U.S. have been enjoying gator meat for years. Some people hunt gators for sport during a short legal hunting season, while others buy their meat from alligator farms. If you want to try this meat, it's pretty easy to find in states like Florida and Louisiana. The taste is similar to dark meat chicken with a bit of fishiness. Barbecued ribs are particularly popular, but most parts of a gator can be cooked in various ways, like stewed, braised, fried, or grilled. And the nutritional facts aren't bad either, as gator meat is packed with protein and relatively low in fat and calories. Jellyfish are generally thought of as either soft, squishy sea creatures or terrifying monsters that will ruthlessly sting you if you're not careful. Frankly, they deserve both reputations. There are around 200 different species of jellyfish around the world, ranging from the harmless flame jellyfish to the deadly box jellyfish.
Jellyfishing, 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 jellyfishing!
In the United States, we're most used to seeing them in aquariums, but people across Asia have been dining on jellyfish for centuries. There are at least 11 species of jellyfish that are safe for humans to eat. Their meat can be dried and eaten as a jerky, or added to soups, salads, and noodle dishes. In contrast to its name, most jellyfish have a surprisingly crisp texture when eaten fresh. The nutrient profile of this marine animal isn't terribly impressive, but it is a decent source of protein, antioxidants, and several minerals for a blob that floats around in the water for its entire life. Jellyfish are also considered a sustainable food source that's worth taking advantage of. If you want to hunt down a bite of this sea creature, check the menus of your local Chinese, Japanese, or Thai restaurants. You can also find dried jellyfish in many Asian grocery stores. Ostrich meat has been a staple in their homeland of South Africa for hundreds of years. Recently, it's gained momentum in the United States as a more sustainable alternative to cattle and pig farms. As ostrich farmer Alex McCoy told Modern Farmer in 2016, ostriches emit virtually none of the destructive greenhouse gas methane, which is in stark contrast to cows who release methane when burping and farting. As McCoy put it, by incorporating ostrich into your diet, you're doing way more to fight the cause of global warming than driving your car less, flying less, or taking shorter showers. Ostrich is an extremely lean meat that tastes similar to beef. Also like beef, it can be ground, made into sausage, or cut into steaks. Virtually any beef recipe can be substituted with ostrich meat. It's easiest to find frozen from a farm that ships their meat around the country or internationally. One downside, though, is that because ostrich meat is so lean and not widely available in the United States, it tends to be a bit pricey. Wild boar or wild hogs are a far cry from domesticated pigs. These hybrid animals are often considered dangerous pests across North America. They're hardy, strong, and fast, but they also love to destroy basically everything in their path and pass diseases along to other animals and humans. Wild boar meat was considered a delicacy for a long time because hunting them was a favorite pastime of royalty in Europe and Asia. Although wild boar hunting isn't as common today, their meat is still coveted because these animals live a truly free-range lifestyle. It's also difficult to access because of the strict rules in place to avoid the spread of disease. As noted by Smithsonian Magazine, to be sold as meat commercially, wild hogs must be brought alive to a buying station and then to a processing plant that's overseen by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Most wild boars caught in the United States end up in Europe or Asia, so supply stays limited here. Wild boar tastes similar to pork, but with a sweeter, leaner flavor. It also has less fat, less calories and less cholesterol than most pork raised in America. If you want to try this hog, seek out a restaurant that specializes in wild game. If you grew up with a guinea pig in your house, you may want to skip this section. While these adorable creatures are kept as pets in the United States, they've been eaten in South America for years. About 65 million guinea pigs are consumed each year in Peru alone. It's practically a rite of passage to enjoy one of these rodents after hiking Machu Picchu or strolling around the capital of Lima. As with many animals on this list, guinea pigs are gaining popularity as a meat source because of their smaller carbon footprint when compared to beef, pork, and chicken. These rodents have a particularly strong argument for their consumption because they can be raised in the backyard, don't require a lot of food, and create little waste. If you're brave enough to give this exotic meat a try, be prepared for something that tastes like a cross between duck and rabbit. Roasted guinea pig is particularly flavorful and fatty, and it just might be tasty enough to make you change your mind about limiting these guys to pet stores.
Lots and lots of places have guinea pig as a very common meal.
If you ever visit Australia, you may be surprised to see kangaroo meat offered alongside other cuts in the deli. Kangaroo jerky in grocery stores, fresh kangaroo steaks in delis, and kangaroo burgers on restaurant menus are all common sights. Kangaroos in Australia are pretty similar to deer in the United States, and so far as you can find them pretty much everywhere. But although this meat can be found all over the country, many Australians have a hard time swallowing it, literally. These marsupials used to make up a large part of the locals' diets, though they've become less popular in recent years. They're basically Australia's national symbol, and popular media has portrayed them as too cute to eat.
Cute.
So cute.
Super cute.
Despite all that, this exotic meat is gaining popularity again, and it's worth a try the next time you're down under. Kangaroo meat is lean and high in protein, and it tastes better than most game meat cuts. When cooked properly, it's quite flavorful and tender. It's also incredibly nutritious and generally good for the environment, since all kangaroos are caught in the wild. If you ever find yourself walking through a street market in Southeast Asia, you'll see a variety of roasted meats and tantalizing dishes, like barbecued squid, beef kebabs, and even tarantulas. Yes, indeed, in many parts of Asia, fried tarantulas are sold in street markets as a way to generate income when tourists pose for pictures while trying these hairy arachnids. In Cambodia in particular, tarantulas are considered a delicacy. In the 1970s, many Cambodians avoided starvation by learning to eat these spiders. Since then, they've been eaten as special treats by the locals. Tarantulas are often deep-fried and coated in seasoning before being picked apart. The body is reportedly the best, while the legs aren't as tasty. According to culinary lore, the best way to enjoy these arachnids is to start with the legs and eat them like you would crab legs. Detach them from the body and pull the meat out from those sections. There isn't much meat, but what you can get is apparently very tasty. After enjoying the legs, you can eat the head and the front portion of the body. Avoid the abdomen, as it's full of the tarantula's organs, eggs, and feces. Although their bites contain venom, these spiders rarely cause fatalities in humans and are safe to eat. They're also pretty easy to catch in the wild if you're brave enough to grab one from the ground or a tree branch. Iguanas are reptiles native to Mexico, Central America, South America, and the Caribbean. There are some 30 different species of iguana, and they like to lounge in trees and soak up the sun because they're cold-blooded. Iguanas have also gained popularity recently as pets, although they can get quite large and aren't suited for most homes. Similar to guinea pigs, it might sound unnatural to cut up an iguana and eat it, but these lizards make for some pretty good meat. Central Americans have been eating iguana for years, and it's beginning to catch on in the United States. This meat is also popular in South America, and its North American popularity is starting to increase as well. Iguanas are often called chicken of the trees because of the way they taste. In Florida, they've become an invasive species, and it's legal to kill them in the state as long as it's done in a humane manner. They can be cooked any way chicken can, so get to frying and grilling if you're ready to try some iguana. Yaks are a bovine species native to the Tibetan Plateau. They look similar to domesticated cows in the United States, but they have longer, shaggier hair that allows them to survive the harsh winters of the Himalayas. They've been used as work animals and food for thousands of years by the locals who live in the mountains. Yak meat is leaner than beef, and the fight for this healthier protein alternative brought yaks to the States in the early 2000s. The animals themselves seem to be more environmentally friendly than cows as well. As Tom Worrell, a yak farm owner in New Mexico, told the New York Times in 2003, yaks eat only about a third of what cows eat, and they can forage for food without harming the environment. Furthermore, as Worrell explained, they have small hooves and are nimble, so they can move over rough mountainous terrain. They don't need much attention. Unlike cows, you don't have to get up in the middle of the night and calve them. They are pretty disease-resistant, so they don't need any hormones or antibiotics. And unlike bison, they are docile and easy to maintain. Although yak meat is lower in fat than beef, it has a richer flavor that makes up for the leanness. It can be cooked just like beef and added to virtually any dish. Or, to eat it traditionally, find a local Himalayan restaurant that serves momo dumplings with yak meat.
Yakety yak! Yakety yak!
Sushi fans aren't fazed by seeing eel on the menu, but it may catch you off guard if you aren't used to that type of cuisine. These slimy snakes of the sea are a popular ingredient not only in Japan and China, but across Europe as well. Eel has a delicious fishy flavor. In Japan, it's known as unagi, and it's added to such dishes as sushi, rice, stews, and curries. Eel meat soaks up the flavor of whatever it's cooked in, and the texture is softer than many other seafood ingredients. While eel is most commonly connected to Japan, it can be found in various forms elsewhere. Jellied eel, for example, is a cultural dish in England. In Italy, eel is roasted with minimal seasoning, while Spaniards cook it slowly into a rich and flavorful sauce. One thing to keep in mind when you're hunting out this exotic meat is that, unlike many types of seafood, eels can't be eaten raw. Their blood is toxic to humans, so they must be thoroughly cooked before consumption. Once you've verified that your eel is fully cooked, go ahead and enjoy this slimy sea creature to your heart's content. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more mashed videos about foods from around the world are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.